Because the human psyche is immensely complicated, fresh research is published every day that sheds light on why we are the way we are. While some psychological studies supply us with very mundane psychological facts, others are extremely illuminating. We've compiled a list of psychology facts that explain human nature and may put some light on some of the patterns you've noticed in yourself and others. These are the mind-boggling psychology facts that explain everything, from why you think food tastes better when someone else makes it to why you always perceive human features in inanimate objects. Number 1. If we have a plan B, our plan A is less likely to work. It never hurts to be prepared every now and then. In a series of studies conducted by the University of Pennsylvania, researchers discovered that when participants considered a backup plan before beginning a task, they performed worse than those who had not considered a plan B. Furthermore, once they understood they had options, they lost the incentive to achieve the first time. The researchers emphasize that planning ahead of time is a good idea, but you may be more successful if you keep your intentions vague. Number 2. We aren't as good at multitasking as we think we are. According to research published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology, even when you think you're doing two things at once, you're actually moving between the two tasks quickly, you're still focusing on one at a time. It's no surprise that listening to your partner while browsing through Instagram could be challenging. Number 3. Our brains want us to be lazy. Conserving energy is beneficial from an evolutionary standpoint. Even when food was scarce, our forefathers had to be prepared for everything. Unfortunately, that is still true today for anyone watching their weight. A small study published in Current Biology discovered that when volunteers walked on a treadmill, their stride naturally adjusted to burn fewer calories. Number 4. There's a reason we want to squeeze cute things. Cuteness aggression is a feeling that people get when they desire to smash a cute puppy. According to research published in Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience, when we are overwhelmed with positive feelings, such as when looking at an incredibly adorable baby animal, a little aggressiveness helps us balance off that high. Number 5. Food tastes better when someone else makes it. Have you ever wondered why the sandwich from the takeout restaurant down the street tastes more delicious than the ones you cook at home, even when the ingredients are the same? One study published in the journal Science discovered that when you prepare a meal, you're around it for so long that it feels less thrilling by the time you finally dig in, which reduces your enjoyment. Number 6. You're programmed to love the music you listened to in high school the most. Music provides us with a rush of dopamine and other feel-good hormones, which is amplified while we're young because our brains are still developing. Everything seems more meaningful between the ages of 12 and 22, therefore we prefer to focus on those years the most and cherish those musical memories. Researchers have uncovered evidence that suggests our brains bind us to the music we heard as teenagers more tightly than anything we'll hear as adults, a connection that doesn't weaken as we age, writes Mark Joseph Stern for Slate. Number 7. We look for human faces, even in inanimate objects. We haven't all seen Jesus in a piece of toast, but we've all seen cartoonish faces peering back at us from inanimate items. This is known as pareidolia, and experts believe it stems from the fact that detecting faces is so critical in social interactions that our brains would rather imagine one where there isn't one than overlook a real-life face. Number 8. We loosen our morals when an authority tells us to. It's one of the oldest psychological facts. Yale psychologist Stanley Milgram famously ran an experiment in the 1960s to establish that Americans would not accept unethical directives as the Nazis had. For a learning assignment, volunteers were instructed to shock a learner, an actor unknown to the real volunteers, if they answered incorrectly. Milgram was horrified when the participants continued to apply shocks even while the learner screamed in pain.